Welcome to Jake and Trev Review Everything.
I'm Trev.
And I'm Jake.
And you're joining us here week 24.
24. So technically
this week on 24.
Technically after this episode, we will have done an entire day's worth of shows.
24 hours of Jake and Trev Review Everything live.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it. That's fine. I mean, that's an awful lot of live action for any one man or woman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, if you didn't already know, I'm going to choke to death.
He's choking to death on the...
So if you didn't already know, we did a sweet-ass Halloween special.
I'm guessing they know. Do you guys know? Am I right? You knew, right? I mean,
Am I right?
Somebody watched that episode. At least, what are we...
Hey, if you watch the episode, there's 5 of you right now, because it tells us how many of you watched the episode. I want to know. And I also want to know, do you have any questions or any comments about the show? Anything? Are there any scary things you think we left out of the list of scary things?
Yeah. Or how about, with the list, we talked about certain movies and so forth. Was there something from those movies that we didn't cover really that really scared you a lot?
Yeah, like something from, we want to open the discussion. Usually we just get on a roll, we go back to your comments and stuff. We want to discuss this with you. Mm-hmm. So definitely want to do that. We'll start with some in the news stuff. One thing in the news, I'll start first.
Stop! You can't start yet.
Oh,
because there's something I have to say.
Okay.
To Cyrus McCarter is with us, as well as Michael Swanson, Phil Peterson, Don Jake Silvas, all these good people. The Rhinus. But Cyrus McCarter said the magic word, Zardoz! The gun is good.
The penis is bad.
The gun shoots death and eliminates life. The penis shoots life and brings only death. Zardoz! If you haven't seen Zardoz, that meant nothing to you.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the trailer.
Oh!
Just the trailer itself.
Oh, man.
You're in for some fun, I imagine.
Oh, man. You know what? Let's play a game, guys. Let's play a game. You're gonna open up a new tab, right? And you're gonna go to youtube.com.
Mm-hmm. Where there are videos.
There are videos there. Right now, I get to see some sexy butts.
There's some butts for some reason? Funny epic pranks with thongs. Somebody's just gonna...
By the way, let's little mini review. YouTube, it has to stop.
It's gotta stop.
It's gotta stop.
You gotta stop your icons for your videos. Epic fail, blah, boobs and butts.
It's always boobs and butts.
But there are never any boobs and butts.
And look, I like boobs and butts.
The internet's full of places where you can find boobs and butts if you look. And fail videos, when you go to a fail video, you want to watch fails like, Russia dash cam.
Awesome. Hey, yeah, that's a lot of great stuff.
Epic fail November 2013. Who cares? But quit trying to draw people. Oh, there's butts and boobs.
Ooh, you say there's butts and boobs.
There aren't. It's a lie, and everybody knows they inserted. Just stop.
They inserted 3 frames of boobs or butts at the beginning or end of the video, so they could select that as their thumbnail.
I think we brought it up, but for the Star Trek Into Darkness trailer, I think it was the international trailer. Mm-hmm. They had a picture of the one chick, just in her bra and panties.
Yeah,
and in fact, the director, I believe, was like, "I'm really sorry, guys. We shouldn't have done that." He actually repented. He was like, "That was really cheap of me. I'm really sorry."
You're better than that.
Yeah, you're better than that.
We're all better than that. And that's why Jake and Trev do not put pictures of boobs and butts in our thumbnails.
We don't use boobs.
We don't need it. I don't need it. We know you're going to watch it anyway. We don't want to false advertise. Okay, so by now.
So now you're at YouTube.
You're at YouTube. You're going to type in.
You were already at YouTube.
You're going to type Zardoz trailer in the search box, and you're going to hit enter.
And go for the very first one. It was by
Trailer for Zardoz.
1974.
On the channel.
It's 3 minutes and 9 seconds.
3 minutes and 9 seconds.
Alright, we're going to load it up.
I'm going to load it up and I'm going to pause it right away.
Because
we
have a delay.
Give you just a second.
Let's jump back really quick.
Okay, we're going to jump back.
Get your video ready.
Are you guys ready? That's what I need to know.
Well, it's going to be like a half a minute.
Well, I mean, we're going to just start, and then hopefully they're going here. But, okay. So, all right. So, I'm going to turn it on, and when I say now, I want you to hit the play button. So go back over to YouTube. You're not looking at Jake and Trev anymore. You hear Jake whistling. You hear my voice. You're going to hit play now.
All right. Now we're watching.
Beyond 1984.
Beyond 2001.
Beyond love.
Beyond death.
There is only Zardoz.
Giant Stone.
To you, his chosen ones, the gun is good.
The gun is good! The gun is good!
Yeah.
Go forth and kill.
No!
No. What are you doing? You're going inside the stone head. You're crazy.
In the stone head.
I don't know.
It is the only path and passage into the vortex.
The vortex.
Oh God, it's
Show me
floating.
how you come to be here.
That looks like the ship from, what was it called? The Flight of the Navigator.
Oh yeah. It's got that webbly. It's so awesome.
It is incredible.
My name is Zelda.
Is that?
I am
I'm an exterminator.
It's a journey into a world.
Oh, what happened to your owner? Oh, there it is.
Eternal
I spotted its owner.
life.
He
Brought the gift of death.
Wait, there are houses in here? They're living out by a stone head?
Run. In the vortex. There's
Hey,
he's trying to run away. Oh, slide. Get the slide going.
oh God, that's gotta ride up. Thanks.
One of my favorite lines is coming up here.
That looked kind of like Enter the Dragon. Was it Enter the Dragon?
Yeah, the mirror room fight? Yeah.
But probably way less fun.
Yeah, get her. Oh, wait, no.
Planet of the Apes. That's the Planet of the Apes. Met the people. That game.
I have seen
Oh shit. What have you seen? What have you seen?
the future.
Oh shit. What is it?
And
Oh?
it
is it?
doesn't work.
Oh no!
Zardoz.
Man, the future's
And then
oh no, again?
Zardoz created God? What? That's right. And in the end, Zardoz
That's not done.
recreated man. Wow. Wow. The tabernacle is indestructible and everlasting.
Don't fuck with it.
It's a John Borman film.
And it doesn't look boring.
It certainly doesn't look boring.
Zardoz.
Zardoz.
Copyright Mechanic.
And we're done. So
That's the Zardoz trailer.
that's the trailer for Zardoz. What do you think, gang? I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of Zardoz? Because I mean, I really interrupted Jake when he was going right at the beginning of the episode because somebody said Zardoz and
Zardoz.
there it is in the chat, and I can't ignore Zardoz, and you can't either. Hopefully, tell us your thoughts,
Zardoz. But also tell us your thoughts on our episode and Zardoz.
and also the episode.
Let's have a woven conversation. Somebody has to say something about our episode, and then somebody immediately has to say something about Zardoz. Let's keep it. Let's see if we can get this thing going. Next comment has got to be about Zardoz. One after that about the show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just go back and forth.
Mm-hmm. It'll be really nice.
We'll see how long we can keep it going.
See,
Halloween episode, Zardoz.
someone break out the Scott Joplin piano music. See that? Some nice ragtime there for our silent bed earlier. Very nice. Phyllis says the episode was great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. No bazinga. No, that's a banned word here at Jake and Trevor.
My dad really likes the Big Bang Theory. That's okay.
It was beyond love. Rhinus, it was beyond love. It was beyond love and beyond life and beyond death. And for Zardoz, Zed is an exterminator.
Yeah.
These are all facts. Indisputable facts. But yeah, it's a heck of a thing. So just that's a favorite thing of the show. I'm gonna say right now we're gonna review Zardoz at some point.
Oh, we have to.
We have to.
We have to.
Do you guys want to see Jake and Trev review Zardoz? Is that an episode you want?
No.
Tell us about it. And as a rule, from now on, every time one of us says Zardoz, that's what's going to happen. The other one has to say Zardoz. See if he did it for me or just then, even though I said it as an example.
See who knows. Just, if you're going about your day to day, you see a bunch of people.
If you ever hear somebody,
just lean over and be like, Zardoz.
Zardoz.
See if they do it.
See, and that'll be like an in thing that we're all doing together. Michael Swanson said, episode's pretty damn good. I love the Halloween stuff's tied in.
Well, thank you.
We try to just jam it full of spooky
10 tons of
Halloween
shit
stuff
in a 1-pound Halloween bag.
That's right.
In a candy bag. Because we are Candymans. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Cyrus McCarter reminds us that in a land of eternal life, he brought the gift of death.
Well, thank God.
And which is an interesting kind of take on things. There's it's always that sort of implication. Usually, you see it in vampire movies.
We didn't actually have $1.57 million budget for the Halloween episode, but.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's something that often it's usually only brought up in like vampire movies, where particularly like the Anne Rice variety, where someone's been alive for a long time, and then they start lamenting the fact, the burden of eternal life.
It's gotta be different.
And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it would be a burden.
Well,
I'm sure you'd get tired of it.
There is one guy who knows about it.
What's his name, Jake?
His name is Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson.
It's Wade Wilson. And actually, I was looking it up today because I haven't bought a comic book in like a year, which is super sad, but it happens. Apparently, they have a series. There was a series called Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, and I totally got all of that. That was pretty cool. And that's actually in a separate universe than the 616. Well, it turns out that they have another series called Deadpool Kills Deadpool. That's like a follow-up to that with the same Deadpool that killed the Marvel Universe, and he involves the Deadpool from the 616. And somebody suggested, and I'm not shitting you because I wouldn't shit you.
You're his favorite turd.
Apparently, someone suggested that Daredevil, Deadpool, may have powers that are as big as or more than the Beyonder.
What?
Because he can break the fourth wall, because he knows everything, like he can move from dimension to dimension just by using his mind. Like he's fucked up and he can't control it.
I'm kind of tired of like comic book creators and writers like trying to like make craziness into a power. Like you hear it a lot with the Joker. Well, you hear it a lot with the Joker.
With the Joker.
Like, well, the Joker's maybe the Joker's not even insane. What if he has a form of super sanity? And like he's aware of things. Consider making this. Wow, we're getting some good comments here.
Let's see, thought the Halloween episode was great from Nicky Manny.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan says, I want to see that episode and I want to see Jake and the Zed out.
I do and don't. I do and don't want to see Jake and the Zed out. It would be funny, but then
it'd be like, all right, hold on, I gotta.
He's got this banana hammock here.
Don't film, I gotta adjust. It's riding up. It would just ride up all the time. We just need to get a bunch of red scrunchies and like sew them together. Where'd you get the mop head for Trev? That was actually Trev's mop. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She got the wig.
Yep. I neglected to give her credit in the credits as a contributor in the prop department. Let me remedy that now. Phyllis Peterson, a prop master here.
I thought we did. I swear to God we did.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You sure?
Yeah, somebody go back. We're not going to do it. Go on the blip. See if you can't get to the credits. See if we credited Phyllis Peterson.
And even if we did, everyone thank my mom. Yeah. Everyone in the chat right now, you thank my mom for supporting this show. You thank her. You thank her nice.
Yeah.
You make it real nice.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right. Because we love our moms here at J&TRE.
Yeah. Right. So
So you were going to say something before I
say something
hijacked
15 minutes ago
and went on to the Zardoz boat.
I don't want to say it anymore.
Oh.
No, I do.
Good.
I changed my mind. Okay. But then you would have to kill off Slapstick. Nobody kills off Slapstick. He's from Dimension X. He was created by Groucho Marx, and we look back to the beginning of the show. Okay. Here's the deal. Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Physical stores, I mean, obviously they still have their streaming service, but, you know, not as good.
Because let me be honest with ourselves, like, who here has, like, Blockbuster streaming services? Who gets you streaming
Do you guys,
movies and
I mean,
TV
maybe you guys
services
do.
from
Maybe somebody
Blockbuster?
does. Does anybody stream
Do
Blockbuster videos?
Do you?
Do you?
I don't. I don't personally know anyone who does, to my knowledge.
There's like...
But I don't ask a lot. Jake's into
I just
talking
assume-
Hulu. He does the whole Hulu Plus
Hulu's
thing.
awesome. If you like TV, Hulu's the way to go, man. Like television.
Well, now hold on. Are you trying to suggest that I don't like TV because I don't have Hulu?
Oh, absolutely. Trevor hates TV. I want everybody to know that.
You guys know me. I love TV.
But no, basically, there are 300 stores. About 300 stores still exist that are open for Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the deal. They were bought up by. Hold on, pull that up because I don't.
I guess I'm.
Well, you're right there. We got to go on the other.
Jake strategically suggested that I sit on this side so that I'd always be closer to the computer so I could go and check on things. This is a scheme. That's Jake's scheming face. What you're looking at right now, guys?
Look, these coffee cups are my feet.
Well, Jake, it says here in our notes, Dish Network bought.
Dish Network, that's who it was. Okay. Dish Network bought Blockbuster for $320 million. Yep. Oh, wow. I have a good memory. Dish Network bought Blockbuster for $320 million. And Dish Network says, we're done with the physical stores. We're going to close the rest of the 300 Blockbuster stores by the beginning of, or during the beginning of next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. We still have a Family Video in Marquette. I don't know about you guys. You might have a mom and pop video store where you live. It's like becoming arcade levels of extinction. Record store level of extinction.
Mm.
We're losing physical stores, guys. 10 years ago, we had record stores. We had video stores. I can remember a time where I lived in a place that had at least 3 video stores.
Sure.
At least. And that's not and that's like chain stores.
You'd have your Blockbuster, you'd have like a Family Video or like a Movies North.
Mr. Movie.
And then you'd probably have at least 1 or 2 mom and pop places around, you know.
Mr. Munchie.
Yeah, like they got like a popcorn machine in there, and they got something like that.
Yeah, even like Kroger or Econo or something. I remember they used to rent out like videos.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little bit. Like I remember when I was really young, we used to go to Meijer, and they had like their own like video rental place.
Here's our
like,
video
right
rentals.
there.
Come in here, get rentals.
Everybody had places to rent movies. Not anymore.
No.
We have a Family Video. That's it. And they're constantly selling. Like I think what they do to stay open even is they bring in the same amount of rental movies, and then maybe like a week later after it's no longer like a new release, then they just sell all the copies.
Right.
For like $8 or like $3 or whatever. There's a huge rack dedicated to selling off all of their excess.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's just time getting away from us. It's kind of like telephone booths. When's the last time? I remember reading an article the other day that
I don't know about booths. I haven't seen booths in a long time. Like even like telephone, like public telephones, like even just on the wall.
I saw some kind of statistic the other day that there are still 13,000 working payphones in the United States that are still
13,000? That's really low.
Right.
That's like extra low.
Right. That's like, I mean, well, that tells you about, like how much, payphones are still a thing.
That's 750 per state, I think.
Yeah. And you just know a lot of those are either in like there's a good density of them in like urban areas, and then there's like a handful out in all these different rural areas that places where the roads aren't all paved and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's
Silent
kind
Hill.
of
Silent Hill's probably still.
Silent Hill's probably got about 12 of those payphones kind of hanging around.
But they're all like soaped over. Because you don't it's Silent Hill. You'll never see what's inside of it until you open the door.
Right.
But don't open that. Dude, don't open that door. Do not open the door.
Don't do it.
There's gonna be something. It's gonna pop out. You don't want to make a call there. Bring your cell phone. Even though there's no service, you can pretend. And do you really want to hear what's on the other side of the payphone in Silent Hill?
Yeah,
It's probably also.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's a classic scare in a lot of movies. Where I've seen it several times anyway, where someone's like walking through like a haunted area, or it's like a spooky story or whatever, and someone walks by a payphone, and then the payphone rings. And the thing is like, and then they kind of like look around, like, is that
somebody waiting for a call?
Is that for whose phone call is this? And then they look around, and there's nobody there waiting for the call, and then curiosity gets the better of them, and they walk over there, and they're like, hello? And acting. That's acting, by the way.
Wait,
Did you see the lip quiver?
I want to keep doing this. Wait, hold on.
Okay. Hello. Who is this?
Why did you answer the phone?
It was just ringing. I thought maybe somebody needed help.
Welcome.
See, Jake and Trev, acting with Jake and Trev. You're welcome. But no, I mean, but that scare is ruined now. Because
there's no fucking. Well, yeah, I guess you could do it with your cell phone. Like, hey,
but if someone's calling your cell phone, they're definitely calling you. If someone's calling a passing payphone, it has a mystery to it. Who are they calling? Who are they trying to contact? It's over. It's an anachronism now.
That's true.
You know what a great time period in American history to set horror movies is? The 1970s, because it was before the cell phones. I think we talked about this once before, but yeah, it was without the cell phones, without easy contact between people, without the internet. It was a time where it was a lot easier to get isolated.
No, absolutely.
And therefore for scary things to happen.
Oh yeah. No, I was just watching Scream the other day in the interest of Halloween. One of my favorite scary movies is Scream. It's a really good movie. I could watch it over and over again. And I noticed a lot of things in that were very similar. Like they were using technology. I think at one point the main chick that's in like all of the movies, like the phone line gets cut in the house, the landline, which doesn't make any sense. But they've also got the computer, and she like dials 911 on the computer. Mm-hmm. Which, I don't know, like you could probably do that on your computer now, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
Great interaction here between people in the chat. Phyllis Peterson says, where will Superman or Underdog change into their super clothes now? John Jake Silva says, they have to use the subway bathroom nowadays, I hear. You don't want to go in there, Soups.
No.
There is a whole type of villainy and evil that you're not ready to fight down there. Mm-hmm. It's not in your power set, just walk away.
Yeah.
Go
use the super speed. Go into an alley. Get into a cab. Do
you think anyone's addressed that in like the comics? Like probably had somebody or like somebody.
If you can't slip away to change well, think about it this way. He's Superman. Let's say you have to change. Like, oh no, I gotta change for an event or something. I have my job with my uniform, and then I have to change into a suit for an interview for a better job where I don't have to wear a uniform. Mm-hmm. There are probably times in your life where you had to change. So you drop into a bathroom, maybe not a subway bathroom, but mm-hmm. You can do it in a bathroom, in a car, in some bushes. Superman can fucking fly and shit. All he's got to do is walk out of everyone's sight line, and I'm sure he can kind of he's got the super senses to know when people are watching him.
Does he have super eyes in the back of his head, you think? Do you
think he can focus in on the reflection in his eye because he can see through things, see through the back of his head? I just blew Trevor's mind.
Oh,
just so like, okay.
DC, if you want to give Superman new powers, talk to Jake. He's coming up with all kinds of reasons why Superman can have new abilities.
I got some ideas. Give me a ring on the
DC executives who I know are watching this program right now.
Yeah, totally. If you or someone you know knows anyone that works,
are you a DC executive? Is someone you know?
You talk to them. You tell them. Jake and Trip.
Mm-hmm. We're IDM.
Mostly Jake.
I'd rather work for Marvel, but that's another.
Well, me too. But
that's another
DC
story.
is going to pay me for coming up with new shit. Like,
yeah, I'll make Superman not stupid and lame for you. Sure.
You want some ideas? We'll sit down.
Ante up.
We'll talk about it. That's the thing. Okay, if you are in the comic book industry and you're like, man, we keep just rebooting Marvel now, DC now, New 52, fucking whatever. You need some fresh blood. Is what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you get that fresh blood? From our veins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just invite us over. Say these are the characters we want to work on. Give us the grand tour of your archive so we can go through and read all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Be down there for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, reading comic books, doing research.
Being paid by you to do so.
And we will come upstairs and we will lay it out for you and be like, this is dumb, that's stupid. This is the thing that you could do. This is not stupid. We'll throw down. We will throw. You want us to? We'll throw down. We'll throw down. I'm just saying.
He's just saying. I'll back him up on it.
You gotta pay for my Sammys though, my hammy Sammys, and pretty much everything else.
Jake works exclusively on a fuel with coffee and hammy Sammys.
Give me some hammy Sammys.
It's sort of his own like Kryptonian DNA, his own alien makeup that fuels
Superman
itself.
needs the yellow sun, Earth's yellow sun. I need hammy Sammys.
It's just how it is.
Load them up.
That's just how it is.
I'll just fold up my shirt, and you can just throw them there, and I'll just
carry them down to
shirt
the
full of hammy
archives.
Sammys.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
But yeah, so Superman. How did we even? Oh, Blockbuster. that was one hell of. Thank you, everyone, for going on that tangent with us. We hope you enjoyed your stay. We're gonna bring the trouble back now. Yeah, but that's the other thing. Netflix. Okay. So Blockbuster's closing, and they're closing the rest of the Blockbuster stores. DirecTV says no more Blockbuster. But here's the thing. It's getting even crazier than that because Netflix says way too long for movies. You know what? Movie theaters? You're hogging all the good time that we can use to get people to watch movies on our service. So we're going to work, and this is true. This is the thing. This is true. I read this somewhere. Netflix is trying to push for movies to come out on video, and i.e. streaming services, 30 to 45 days after the movie's been in the movie theater. That's the window. That's the window that theaters get. They get 30 to 45 days to show the movie, and then all of a sudden it's on streaming. And I could see this. I can see this because of all of the independent movies that are coming out. Last year we watched John Dies at the End. It's a really good book. By David Wong. He is a writer for Cracked. Excellent book. He's got a sequel called This Book is Full of Spiders. Also an excellent sequel. They made a movie. It had Clancy Brown in it. Totally badass.
Awesome. Love Clancy Brown.
It's a sweet movie. John Dies at the End. They released it on demand in like iTunes and a couple other places pretty much immediately. Like it was right when the movie was done, and then they had it in the theater while they had it on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Same with we did a review for a trailer for Zero Charisma. And we actually got kind of in touch with them on Facebook, and we were like, man, we really want a screener. And they're like, it'll be on demand. I mean, fork out the $5, you cheap asses. They didn't say that. They were very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But, so Zero Charisma, also on demand. Another thing, it's Werewolf Wednesday, so we got to do the, Wolf Cop. Werewolf Wednesday.
Yeah. Where would Wolf Cop be without the majesty of independent film?
Oh yeah, they're shooting in from what I saw, and I could have this very wrong, but the last time I checked, their shooting schedule is a month and a half.
Wow.
They're shooting the whole fucking movie in a month and a half, and there's a good chance that'll be on demand too. So, I could see it. I could, major blockbuster movies, obviously, they want to take control of the movie theaters. You got your big movies and stuff. That's not going to end. You're going to have your Lord of the Rings, or your Hobbits, you're going to have your
that's what I was going to say.
Hunger Games, and your superhero movies.
Let's pretend for a moment I'm a high-powered executive in Hollywood.
Okay.
So I'm going to... So, what's in it for me to start putting out my movies away from the theaters in just 30 days and put them out on video?
Well,
You're wasting my time. Get to the point.
I can see it too. It's all about money. It really is. But that's the thing. Even years ago, I remember watching Kevin Smith's first recorded pseudo stand-up An Evening with Kevin Smith, and he even said in that, people were like, well, how much money do you really make off of movies? And he's like, in the theaters, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really make that much money in the movie theaters. In fact, the showing at the movies is almost like an advertisement to go out and buy the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have kind of a middleman now, because with streaming, like with Netflix or Blockbuster streaming or whatever, you're paying someone else to pay basically for those copies.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a video store, they pay a flat amount to get 50 copies and rent it to you. They do the same thing, probably on a larger scale. But, movies are basically advertisements for products, for toys, usually with bigger kids' movies or superhero movies. It's an advertisement for another higher ticket thing. You buy a ticket to a movie, that's probably, on average, about $10.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're seeing Iron Man. You buy the action figures, you got to get Iron Man. That's like a $15 to $20 action figure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want the Avengers? You want all of the Avengers? Each of those figures is $10 to $20.
Mm-hmm.
You want the accessories or whatever. Especially for kids' movies, you want all the cars. You don't want just Lightning McQueen. Fuck that guy. You gotta have somebody to race against him or be friends. Or
all right. Todd J. Silvis, you gotta stop trolling. you have to stop being a troll dad. No, they shouldn't make a Zardoz remake.
Zardoz!
With total green screen. It'd be the worst thing ever.
No, he's saying we should. No, yeah.
Now I'm even more embarrassed.
I wouldn't even. That would be tough.
With just a green screen.
You probably do it. You probably do it. No, shot for shot.
It would look like dumps.
Let's see. Ryan says Olympus Has Fallen is already on Netflix. Yeah, that came out. Well, that came out 4 or 5 months ago, actually. It came out at the beginning of the year. So we're talking about months. I mean, and that's usually how long it takes. It used to be a year.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Jurassic Park came out, and I saw that a couple times in the theater, and I was like, I really want to, see this at home a whole bunch of times. I just want to watch this over and over again. They didn't have VHS for Jurassic Park for a year.
Mm-hmm.
It was a year until... And it was a big movie. Probably a lot of people went to the theater. You're talking about the length that you can leave a movie in the theater and actually continue to make money. Mm-hmm. At some point, it drops below that line, and you have to say, all right, pull it from the theater, let's start selling the copies. But Netflix is saying you got to start doing it earlier. So yeah, there might be a struggle there. There might absolutely be a struggle. Let's see. Cyrus McCarter, you might be interested in this, and you've probably already seen it. And this is for everybody, not just him. But they are making a Rambo video game. It's called Rambo The Video Game, which is awesome to start with. Let's start with nomenclature here, because I feel like that's a throwback to a lot of video games that were based on movies. And then the other thing is that Rambo the Video Game is not just First Blood. It's not just First Blood Part 2 Rambo. It's not First Blood Part 3. It's all of them.
It's all three of those.
It's all three of them. If you're not familiar, Die Hard did a similar thing in the late 90s with Die Hard Trilogy. They made a video game that was all three of the original Die Hard movies. And that shit rocked. But this one's like a first-person shooter. I don't think they're doing a similar thing. That's where the similarities end. But I don't know. What did you think about it, Trev? Trev says
the graphics look dated. Looks like maybe this has been in development for a little while.
I feel like
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Probably some things they have to iron out.
Here is the thing. Has anyone ever played the Rocky boxing video game from like a PlayStation 2 era? First off, it's one of the most renowned for being extraordinarily glitchy.
I really want to try it because it's so bad. But again, I have a boner for bad video games, so
it's sickness is what he has. But the thing is that there were these horrifying glitches that would make people's faces like stretch out and distort, or I remember one like where Clubber Lang's like legs would like swing up and like go up through his like shoulders, and then he'd be like, it'd be like a floating like. But no, like the level of detail in that game on Sly Stallone's face reminds me of the level of detail in Sly Stallone's face in this game, and that's problematic.
Well, they need to
maybe he's just got one of those mugs that just looks terrible when rendered not by an actual person.
I think because there are so many people in the video game industry playing or watching our show. Okay, shout out to everybody in the video game industry that watches our show.
All of you.
Here's a pro tip. Okay, if you are making a low budget game, instead of trying to trick it out and make it look high budget, just play it up like it's shitty. They're already calling it Rambo the Video Game. That is a subtitle in the title, Rambo the Video. It's like Street Fighter the movie, the game. You know, that was a shitty video game, and I feel like you need to embrace it. Our season ender for last season was Blood Dragon, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. It was a short game. It was using assets from another game. They really brought it together. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of a satire of all that stuff. But it worked really well. Without the humor, that game would have kind of sucked, I feel like. I think the humor made up a fair amount of it, you know?
Yes, Nicky Manti, there was a Rambo game. I believe there was an NES Rambo game.
I have that game, actually.
Where it's sort of like a Legend of Zelda 2 sort of setup, like side-scrolling.
Yeah, I would say that.
Kind of a Castlevania 2 almost.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Where there's lots of places you're supposed to go, but nobody tells you anything.
Because it's all side-scrolling, but it's supposed to be like a non-linear map. So it's like north, east, and then you're like, shit, all these textures look the same. I could be going who knows
circles,
where.
just circles.
And you do go in circles. It's kind of like the Platoon video game where it's like up or down. I don't know which way I'm going. This doesn't make any sense. Like Far Cry 3? Yeah, it does kind of look like that, actually. I can honestly say that it does look a little bit like Far Cry 3. A little bit. But yeah, that's the thing. If you have a low budget, if you're working with a property that, you know, already has a built-in audience, you know, play around with it a little bit. I mean, for God's sakes. I'm walking away in anger right now.
I guess part of my problem is I don't think that. Let me be frank. Rambo 3.
Trevor.
I'll be Trevor. Rambo 3 was not a movie that's well remembered by a lot of people.
I'm curious. That's one thing.
And the other problem is specifically why it's kind of a problematic movie is because this was back during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Back before the United States would ever think about doing something like that.
We started to cool down on our communism hate boner.
Right, we cooled down. But I remember in Rambo 3, First Blood Part 3, that Colonel Trotman and Rambo were both singing the praises about these valiant Mujahideen fighters who were trying to fight off the evil Soviets and everything, and there was this like big like flag wave, and we need to stand by these people and everything, and then
we were basically the movie was basically like Al Qaeda, yeah. That's basically what it was.
Well,
like the
Taliban, but yes, Taliban, yeah.
Sorry, Taliban.
But the principle here is the same. This is a group of people that have later become our enemies.
Yeah.
And so to try to make a game where we're going to be like, are they gonna do it legit? Like, is Strauben going to be like these valiant Mujahideen fighters? America needs to stand with them in their struggle against tyranny, and it's like. That'd be kind of stark, I guess, to for them to not pull any punches and say, yes, this is what we were doing at the time, you know?
It would be really interesting because I feel like we've always in video games used historically bad to the United States bad guys. Mm-hmm. You know, Nazis obviously are a big enemy in a lot of video games. Mm-hmm. We've also had a lot of over the last 20 years, we've had a lot of Middle Eastern groups that are the bad guys, the terrorists or whatever. You see it in pretty much every war-oriented game, you know? But it's really, it would really be interesting to be like, well, for that movie in particular, and for the time, I mean, Rambo 3 really wasn't that well received. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that like right before or during the Gulf War?
Yeah, it was right. Well, it was right before the Gulf War. It was on the tail end of the '80s, the tail end of the Soviet invasion, and really the tail end of the Soviet Union. And yeah,
so it would be really interesting to be like, well, this is who we were
then. Yeah, and this is who Rambo was.
So it's just a snapshot of history. So we can't. But you know, the fact is I'm 90% sure that they'll probably like.
Kind of gloss over it.
Yeah, or they'll change the name of the people or the
here's my real problem. So they made a Rambo game, and frankly, Rambo 4, the fourth one, just John Rambo is probably would have been like the funniest or the funnest scenario to play through.
Oh, they didn't add that. They didn't add that, and it's just 1 through 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And frankly, the scenario in 1 as a video game doesn't really work that well for me. I mean, yeah, there's some stealth gameplay and setting up traps and evading police and everything, but that's it. You're fighting American police officers and National Guard guys. It's
I suppose. Why would you not change that? And that was another really interesting thing too, because revisionist history. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you watch First Blood now." And you see it, and you're like, "Why are these cops like?" You know, we're heavily a nation of people that will back our troops. No matter what side of America's involvement in wars you're on, if you're against it, if you're for it, whatever, nobody is going to sit on a pedestal and say, like, it's the troops' fault. Like, no one in their right mind is going to sit there and blame the troops. Because you're just done.
I have to address that this is not bad coffee. This is Alka-Seltzer. I got a little upset tummy tums. My tummy guts is not feeling so well, so I drank some Alka-Seltzer, and it's gross. I realized, by the way, everyone, that I was making a face, and I was waiting for somebody to accuse me of drinking whiskey or something. But no, it was just bad coffee. Nope, Alka-Seltzer.
And
our coffee's great.
Because I'm drinking whiskey. No, I'm not.
That's also coffee.
That's also coffee.
Cyrus McCarter says, how about a Rambo game where the American military is hunting John J. Rambo and you have to fight your way out?
Well, that's what I was talking about. You know, First Blood. It's not the myth. Well, technically it is at the end.
Well, yeah, it's the
spoiler alert for a movie that's been out for fucking ever, but he fights the military at the end, doesn't he?
Yes.
Like Trautman shows up, and then I know that there's either a SWAT team from like a county over or the actual.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the American
because they're like, oh my god, he's a beret.
It was basically a bunch of weekend warriors. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of weekend warriors, basically, or guardsmen who had been basically brought in to take care of this, and Trautman was trying to warn everybody. It's like, you don't understand. This is not a. He
is more equipped to do this kind of shit than you are. Sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the beginning of the movie, he is like at the time, you know, like I was saying, like you wouldn't imagine anybody being like, fuck the troops. But it used to be like people thought after Vietnam, you know, that another snapshot in history, that it was like they were And also, wasn't there a draft? Like, I hate to sound stupid, but
Yes.
there was a draft for the Vietnam War.
Yes.
So it's not like you had a choice. You could dodge it. You could be in college or go to Canada or Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that's pretty much it. So, you know, like, that they didn't have a choice for the most part. I'm sure some enlisted voluntarily, but, you know, so you have to go over this war that totally sucks in a place that nobody's prepared for. And then you have to come back and everybody's like, oh, you know, because you forget that hippies were also, like, really anti-soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Too, because they were part of the problem. They were the soldiers that were going over and doing all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it got messy. So at the beginning of First Blood, you know, the cop's like, oh, you fucking bum going from town, like, brr, brr, brr.
Well, there was the whole
saying
angle.
all this shit about...
Well, there was the whole angle on Will Teasel, that's the sheriff's name, the character's name,
Yeah.
that he had
Played
been Brian Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy.
Who had been I can't remember if they came out and said it. I think it was just like a really quick kind of line where he talked about how he had gone to Korea and he didn't have all these problems coming back, and he became like a sheriff, and like he's a respected member of everything. Yeah. So how come these Vietnam guys can't get their shit together? And you know, ignoring the whole the whole of American society for the most part. I'm making broad generalizations because that's the only way you can talk about these kind of things. Mm-hmm. By and large, America was behind their soldiers in Korea, and it was much more split over our soldiers in Vietnam.
Right.
So, I mean, from Will Teasel's perspective, as also having been a soldier who returned from a Southeast Asian country that we were at war in, why doesn't these guys get their shit together? You know?
It's really interesting. I mean, you look into the writing of the movie, and most movies are based on some sort of truth, especially if it's more realistic. Well, obviously not that realistic. It's a one-man army, but you understand what I'm saying. At least in the first one. In the second and third one.
Rhinus correctly points out that we're getting a little heavy for a comedy show. Talking about, that's true. We strayed a little bit, sort of, into that area.
But see, you know, that's where Rambo came from. And that's where babies come from. Rambo babies.
I'm sorry we had to have this conversation.
That's on the made, sorry.
We think that you're old enough. Uncle Rhinus doesn't know. I'm just giving you a hard time, Rhinus. Let's see.
But Cyrus McCarter says, I want to see an FPS RPG where America's the bad guy, you fighting imperialism or a mad government. They have that already, but you play as America. What is it called? It's... Yahtzee did a review of it recently. Or it's a video game where everything you do makes you feel really bad about yourself.
I forget.
Ah, shit. There was a video game that came out recently. Here, let me look it up.
I'm going to look it up. You
okay. Anyways, Trip's going to look up the name of the game. It's basically you're doing Black Ops type stuff against all of these groups, and then you realize, like, a lot of the decisions that you make in the game, they basically make you make the decisions, but they're very, like, gut-wrenching, where you're like, I don't even know, like, it's not like a regular FPS where it's like, those are the bad guys, go shoot them. It's like real serious, like, conundrums, those kinds of things, where you're like, moral decisions, where you're like, man, you actually see the impact of your actions in the game, and it really, like, was that Spec Ops The Line?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just remembered it. Spec Ops The Line. If you want, like, a serious game that calls into question the kinds of things that you do in a game like Call of Duty or whatever. Not to continue being dark, but apparently that video game, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
No, I mean, to boil things down into broad generalizations again, there's only so many ways that you can really depict war. And you can be a flag waving, we're doing the right thing, we're all heroes kind of thing, or you can do the war is hell thing.
Yeah.
And, anybody who's been to war would probably
neither of us have, we're just talking out of our knowledge, obviously.
But I'm guessing most people who have been in the service would probably classify it more as the latter than the former.
Right. It's all situational. Again, we're not digging on anybody or anybody's views or anything like that. We have our own views, but politically we don't. We stay out of that sticky wicket on the show. So
yeah.
But that's Rambo. That's the kinds of things that happen. Rambo 1 and 3 were both very kind of tied up in current I
mean,
worldviews at the time.
Yeah. And I mean, I think
really hard to do Rambo 3 right
from
now.
where we're standing as a society, looking back, it's easier to feel really good about Rambo 2, where he was going back and saving all these POWs. I mean, it's like, how do you feel real bad about that? And same thing with John Rambo. Where he's going into Burma and saving these missionaries and stopping these renegade
Yeah, it's not tied in. It's its own fantasy thing. It's all the stuff that
It's really good.
It's based on some, but not.
It's easy for Rambo to stand on the correct side of history in 2 and 4, and less so in 1 and 3.
Right.
Is what I'm saying, guy. Also, John Rambo destroys so many people with that machine gun. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, doesn't
he
the body
shoots
count
the entire Burmese military. It's absurd.
I've heard numbers like the 4th movie had a bigger body count than the first 3 movies combined, or some shit like that. Although 3 had there was a fair amount.
There was some bodies.
Yeah, but yeah, You know what we're talking about. Any other news? Anything? I feel like we had another thing to talk about.
I did want to mention that.
10 minutes left.
I did want to mention that some of the new Marvel trailers have been coming out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's
we talked about the X-Men, so we're done with that.
But the Winter Soldier, the trailer for the Winter Soldier has come out, and that's
actually that's a good segue. That's a good segue.
It is,
because from the trailer, it's very it's very interesting because they're kind of touching on Captain America's military in World War II. Versus Captain America, like S.H.I.E.L.D. and Captain America's military in present day. And you get the feeling, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, watch it after the show. We got 10 minutes left. You can wait.
Have you ever made a prediction, been compelled to make a real wild prediction about something you see in a trailer, and you kind of feel pretty confident about it yourself, but you know that it's kind of out there, and so. Do you guys want to hear my half-court shot? My just wild, the buzzer's about to go. I'm just scooping it and tossing it across the court. Do you want to hear my wild shot here about what I think is happening or is going to happen in the Winter Soldier, in Captain America: The Winter Soldier? I know you do.
I'll answer for you guys since you're on a delay. But yes,
they do.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so in the trailer for Captain America: The Winter Soldier, he's talking to some older gentleman. I'm assuming isn't that Robert Redford?
I think it's Redford.
I think it's Robert Redford.
Or someone that looks like
suspiciously like Robert Redford. But I'm kind of surprised they got Robert Redford for a Marvel movie. Somebody look that up. Anyway, but he's talking to this Robert Redford looking guy, and this Robert Redford looking guy is like, Captain, as well as I do, that to build a better world, you have to tear down the world that came before. And he's talking about all this kind of this weird
Yep, Robert Redford.
Robert Redford.
He plays a character named Alexander Pierce.
I'm guessing he's like a president or some high-ranking military. Anyway, he's talking to the captain about how great sacrifices are made, and that this isn't going to be easy, and we're going to probably have to hurt some people, but it's going to be better. We're going to be better for it. Is basically what he's trying to get across.
Did you already say? I'm sorry, I was looking that up. But did you already say for Captain America, where Captain was we're preemptively fighting these people?
I haven't mentioned that. No, yeah. So also in the trailer, Cap's talking about, well, this isn't right. I thought the punishment came after the crime. We're attacking people before they even do anything.
Yeah.
And Nick Fury is like, well, that we take the world as it is, not how the world as it should be. So it's this kind of whole thing where now Captain America is really forced to question his own mission, right? But here is my half-court shot. I think that Robert Redford is actually the Red Skull.
Yeah.
I think that in this universe, the Red Skull survived World War II. He survived the whole Tesseract thing.
Yeah, he got cosmic cubed into space.
Right, but I'm going to assume he found a way back. Because Cosmic Cube.
Let me throw a little farther here and say that there's a good chance that he is in league with Thanos and Loki.
Could be.
Like the Tesseract sent them to, because at the end of the Avengers, we're getting in all sorts of spoilery territory. So we got like 5 minutes left. If you haven't seen any of the Marvel movies or you plan on it, maybe mute it for a couple minutes. I'll give you this signal when we're done. But basically, at the end of Avengers, they use the Tesseract to open up the space door. Like that's basically all that it's been doing.
Opening space doors?
In Captain America, it is introduced as having a lot of energy that they can use to power up their crazy World War II Nazi guns. Mm-hmm. But then, in the beginning of Avengers, they use it to open up a space door to bring Loki there, and then Loki uses it to turn into a machine that opens up a huge space door to the other realm. So, assumedly, it's not only a source of energy, but it's also a portal, and it's when the Red Skull gets, when he gets zapped into space,
right?
Because he gets beaten. I mean, also not really super spoilery. Red Skull gets beaten at the end.
Yeah, guys, just so you know, the Red Skull didn't win at the end of Captain America: The First Avenger. In case we needed to tell you that.
But so maybe he got zapped to where they are, and he's just been waiting for that many years to work in alliance with the bad guys to fight against the alliance of the Avengers.
Right.
So,
but knowing the Red Skull and how he likes to operate, there'd be nothing that would be more satisfying to Johann Schmidt than to use Captain America as a tool to build the world that he wants.
Oh yeah.
Which would be an excellent turn. These movies all want to have some kind of big turn. They did it in Iron Man 3 with that stupid turn about the Mandarin. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
All right.
There was a turn with the Mandarin I didn't appreciate. I know this.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to do that here, and I hope it works, and I hope I'm right. And if I'm right, I want everyone to do this when it was revealed in the movie. Just remember me, swish.
Yeah, I gotta give him credit for that. I gotta give him credit. If it is. But we're done with spoilers. Tad Jake Silvas asks, why do Ant-Man after the Avengers 2? That is a really good question, because Avengers 2 is called the Age of Ultron, and it's already leaked that Ultron is not going to be created, like in the comic books, by Ant-Man.
Hank Pym.
Like, it's not going to happen. So, I can see, maybe they tried to, they were probably writing Age of Ultron, and were like, oh, we're going to have Ant-Man and stuff, and somebody was like, we're not going to be able to have Ant-Man before then, so just go ahead, do the movie without him, write somebody else in. They probably wrote some scientist person or one of the Avengers in creating Ultron. Possibly Tony Stark.
I'm guessing Tony Stark.
Probably Tony Stark.
In fact, if I may, I think Ultron is going to evolve out of the Mark 42 armor.
It could be.
Because there was this. Remember the bit that they showed a lot in the trailer, and they kind of swept under the rug in the movie, where the suit was standing over Pepper, menacing Pepper, and then Tony had to wake up and be like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And then they didn't address that for the rest of the movie, as if.
Oh yeah. Because part of that was to throw into the trailer because Extremis.
Right, and but my point is that I think that was kind of if they're really good at what they're doing, better than I give them credit for, that was kind of thrown in there as sort of a little brief little setup for later on, where it has this affection for Tony Stark that runs absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is, and I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. I hope this is okay, Trev.
It's okay, Jake. You tell them.
But sometimes when you have a long-running series of some point, like we do, sometimes you have little things in there and you don't plan on doing anything with them. Like I said, that could have fully been because they were just trying to throw people off the trail of Extremis. Mm-hmm. The armor came to life that's very similar to a comic book that exists. That'll get the fans to fucking run their yaps. Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe they could, they could be like, oh, well, we did introduce this and didn't use it. So they could actually flash back to that and be like, oh, because we do that sometimes too. That's the secret. Sometimes we write something into a show and we go back and we're like, all right, what are we going to do for this?
It's like, hey, remember when we said this in this one episode? Yeah.
Extreme examples of that would be like Lost.
Yeah.
I feel like they were basically just like, okay, we need another crazy beat. Throw a polar bear in there, and then later on it's like, what were we even gonna fucking do with that? Well, let's just write something.
A polar bear, really? You know,
the ship full of dynamite. You know, all that shit.
All that good stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's just a ship full of dynamite. It's just sitting there.
How did everything?
How did why?
How did what?
But no, it's a good rule to follow, Cyrus McCarter. Remember, no body, no dead.
Nobody, no dead.
So, no body, no dead, the Red Skull, and not to give things away with my comic book knowledge, but that's a very important rule to remember concerning Captain America. If you did not see a body, it does not necessarily mean they are dead.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, that one's the most obvious, actually, but they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
So, yeah, we're getting on 1 hour here. So, again, if you haven't seen the Halloween episode, or if you know anybody who hasn't seen the Halloween episode, show it to them. Share it with them.
Mm-hmm.
If they're like, who are these guys? Share our Facebook page, our Blip channel, blip.tv/J&TRE Review Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, throw it on.
Yeah, support.
Yeah. And,
support 100%.
And, I'm pretty good for the recorded portion. How about you, Trey?
I think so too.
All right.
Should we tell them what what the subject of our next episode is?
No.
No. Not even as like a special. How about this? We'll tell you guys after we stop the recorded broadcast.
Yeah.
So that way it's special exclusive only for the people who only actually showed up. It's not going to be on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's not special for you.
Listen, if you are watching this on YouTube right now, you're missing out. There's stuff we talk about after the
10
show.
10 p.m. Wednesdays.
10 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
And then we usually go hang out for a little while after the show. We drop some special tips and tricks and hints, and we make it so sexy. So join us for the sexiness every week, and stop being a late Larry to the party.
A lazy Susan.
A lazy Susan. But anyway, for Jake and Trev Review Everything Live, I'm Trev.
I'm Jake.
And thanks for watching.